What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this edition of Gin and Tonic. I'm your host, as always, John J. II, and welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about fantasy football and things of that nature. Fantasy IQ. We'll cover it again, but we talked about fantasy IQ a little bit earlier on, a couple weeks ago in our podcast. Fantasy IQ is actually the title of the podcast, talking about different ins and outs as far as drafting your fantasy team. You got to be focused. You got to be well aware of what's going on. So you got to know everything that's going on. You got to be focused. You got to be dialed in. And it requires a lot of work. I remember I had one league one year. There was a lot of guys just kind of, letting it go to the wayside. And there was a money league involved. And people just kind of, people are playing bench players that are on buys. And it's just a mess. So if you don't give a shit about it, it's kind of sad. It takes a little bit of the fun out of it. But the more you give a shit and the more you try and the more you go after getting that chip, it really makes it a lot of fun. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But first, I want to thank Seth Conklin for joining us as our newest general manager for Gin Promotions. Really excited to have Seth a part of the team. He's been doing a lot of great stuff for us. We've been in cahoots and talking for a long time now, as well as many others that have also joined the team as of very recently. So I'm really excited about what our team is capable of and what they have to offer us and everybody going forward. So stay tuned. A lot of big things planned, and we're excited to bring them to you. So let's talk about fantasy. Let's bring this all full circle a little bit. I want to make this a little short and sweet, Gin and Tonic. People are watching football. I get it. I understand it. Tampa Bay playing Dallas. It's a little bit of a nail biter right now. I think it's 16-21. The Bucks have the lead. So if you guys remember the Beeperman, haven't seen him much lately, I'm sure, but his Cowboys are probably going to take it on the nose tonight against my Bucks. So it is what it is. No hard feelings, buddy. And we'll just leave that be. But I want to talk about fantasy drafting. I want to talk about everything that encompasses the draft and the drafting process. It's a very intense process. Players are on the board and they're quickly leaving the board. And one thing that you really have to focus on, you see players as far as ranks go in different positions. Obviously, the highest ranked player for that position, or if you have all selected, then you're going to see all the players that are the highest ranked that are still remaining. And if you get left on auto picks, say taking your car to the mechanic and you just can't, for whatever reason, look at your phone and draft, it's auto pick, so it's going to pick that player for you. But the important thing to note is 99% of the time, those are incorrect. They're not completely invalidated, but that hierarchy of who is in first place, who is the highest ranked going into the season before any balls have been snapped, is 99% inaccurate to how it's going to actually play out throughout the course of the season. So keep that in mind. You might have to scroll a little bit to find the best players. If you have your own players in mind, if you know who you got, if you know who you want for different positions, then you're going to draft them accordingly. And you're going to have to do a little bit of research to make sure you get the right players and the players you want. You got to have backup players. You got to make sure you have players in positions that, if they get picked, then you got the next guy. So you got to move on and roll with the punches that way. Really fun process. I'll go into briefly my fantasy team, and I'll talk about it a little bit here. People gave me a lot of shit about this last night. Last night we had the Gin Pros Fantasy League draft. Really intense stuff. People were fired up in the chat. I was talking a lot of shit like I always do, and it was a great time. So I'll talk about my draft and my picks a little bit here. So my quarterback, Pat Mahomes, got him first round. People gave me shit for it. Listen, I don't care. I know it's a running back heavy year. Seth himself told me, he's our fantasy insider. He told me that it's a very running back heavy year, and they're going to be spread very thin, especially we're doing 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, single quarterback, obviously PPR, doing 2 flexes where normally you'd have 1 flex, 1 kicker, 1 defense, 1 tight end. So a little bit different to your traditional draft on the fantasy app. We're using Sleeper this year. So this is a big money league, and I'm a part of a couple money leagues. So I'll talk about my players a little bit more. Pat Mahomes obviously speaks for himself. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback, fell on the nose to my Bucks. It is what it is. But I think he's got longevity. He'll put some points on the board for me. Then I got Miles Sanders from the Philadelphia Eagles. Playing the running back position, I think he'll do very well. He'll be a target on the ground for Jalen Hurts. So I'm really excited to have him a part of the team. Then you got Kareem Hunt, running back, Cleveland Browns. He'll be getting some touches too. He'll be getting a lot of points. So hopefully he can punch some touchdowns in the red zone, 2-yard line, things like that. And then we got DJ Shark, whatever you want to call it. Shark is cooler in my opinion. But DJ Shark for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is playing wide receiver. He's going to be a big target for Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, and I'm really excited to see what Trevor Lawrence can do. Someone else got Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, he's a rookie. He's got the rookie stamp. It's hard to put any type of projection on him, or any rookie for that matter, going into the season. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what they're capable of. They might crumble under the pressure. It's a next-level experience for these guys. Yeah, they might have excelled in college, but NFL is a completely different ballgame. No pun intended. So we'll see how they handle that and see how they fare in the next level. Then at my tight end position, I got Tyler Higbee for the Los Angeles Rams. He'll be a target for, our beloved Matt Stafford. I don't want to say our, but he's, Matt Stafford is what it is. He'll be a target for him. Hopefully they can run some waggle passes, do a little quick tight end dump, and get him in there to get some points for me. Then I got my flexes. So we got Marquis Brown playing wide receiver out of Baltimore. He'll be a target from Lamar Jackson. Marvin Jones, he'll also be another target for Trevor Lawrence. So 2 wide receivers from Jacksonville. One's on my flex and one's in my actual wide receiver position. So we'll look for them to get a lot of touches and hopefully some touchdowns even too, because that's what puts it on the board. But it's a PPR league, so we're looking for those receptions, guys. Then at my kicker, Greg Zuerlein. And I just want to say I watched him tonight. I watched him miss a field goal from, I think it was 38 yards. So that's not a good start from Greg. Not really too excited about him. I had to pick a kicker. It was getting late in the draft. Had to pick one. And, it just is what it is. It happens. And then I got the Buffalo Bills as my starting defense. I only got one defense right now. Looking to acquire a few more later on. But it is what it is as far as the defense goes. I can pick one off waivers whenever I want to. Defenses are somewhat interchangeable, similar to kickers, and even similar to quarterbacks. Quarterbacks not as much because the hot ones are going to go off the board pretty quickly. So I got a couple quarterbacks for that exact reason. I got Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I'm not an Eagles fan by any stretch of the word. But Seth, on the other hand, is a big Eagles fan. So we're going to have some bones to pick with him going into the season. It is what it is. He's a diehard Eagles fan. And we're going to have to deal with that. But it is what it is, like everything else. Then I got James White for the Patriots. Hopefully he's going to be handing some balls off or getting some balls handed to him from Mac Jones, Alabama alma mater. Hopefully he'll do some big things after they release Cam Newton to the Wolves. So that's a good thing too. Then I got Mike Davis at running back for the Atlanta Falcons. He'll be getting some touches too. Devontae Booker for the Giants, looking for him to get some touches. He's a 5'11", 219 running back, strong running back. He can run and really have that downhill speed that you need out of a running back. So I'm excited for him too. And then you got the slimy Cole Beasley, ex-Dallas Cowboys veteran. He's been in the league for a while. Short guy, but he's very slippery. He's like a spider monkey. Okay, so look out for this guy. He's going to be getting some touches, going to be getting some catches. He's going to be a huge target for whatever quarterback he plays for. In this situation, it's Josh Allen. So Josh Allen's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. Big Buffalo Bills fan. Bills Mafia. Till I die, say it all the time. And it's been too long since I've been able to say it. Now I'm able to say it again because it's football season, so I'm excited. And then I got, last but not least, Jamar Chase for the Cincinnati Bengals. He's going to be a huge target for Joe Burrow since they played together at LSU. So I think that's going to be huge. I was talking about that even back during the draft time, that this pickup, Jamar Chase, he's going to be a big deal, and he's going to be a household name before you know it. So I'm really excited about this draft. This whole entire year, fantasy is exciting, as you guys know. However many leagues you're in, hopefully you're in at least one. Everybody had plenty of chances to get into our league. We filled it up. We were very happy we did that. The draft was crazy, like I said. It was awesome. Some people made out better than others, but that's just how it goes, and you got to roll with it. So I'll leave it at that, guys. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Gin and Tonic, and I just want to leave you guys with this. Stay tuned for Cody and I's podcast tomorrow on college football. Got a big weekend ahead of us, so we're really excited about that, and I'll leave you guys with that. So have a great night. I'm John J. II, as always. Have a great night.